1.
My name is Nick. I'm a full-time trader and entrepreneur. We put out tons of stuff for free for traders.
These are real trades. This is real money. I'm putting my money on the line.
This is going to be a live trading video. Here, locking in over $1,000 on this trade.
Wow, I'd love to get in on this.
Technical insights that really look good to me.
Here we go. We're live.
Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well. My name is Nick. If you're newer to the channel, if you're watching this back at a later time and you would like to watch these live with us, well, we do it at Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. US Eastern. It's kind of like a little radio show, or I guess well, it's a live stream, obviously, but basically what we do here is we go through the markets, we talk about setups and ideas, and we kind of just hang out. We got a lot of people who show up on a regular basis. Hello to Denise and Don, Faisal, Nuval, Pavan, Samilo. Good to see you guys. Thank you for being a part of the channel. Proud to be a part of the first few people here today. Well, glad that you're here. Thank you very much for showing up, and shout out to everybody who joins us today. What we're going to be doing here is we're going to be talking about some of the stuff that's going on in markets today. Now, markets today are kind of an interesting place. Well, they always seem to be pretty interesting, but they seem extra interesting right now because you kind of have a couple things going on. Now, before we jump into a whole bunch of currencies, I actually want to take a look at the S&P 500 today. Now, the S&P 500 has been under fire recently. Now, the reason I point that out, as I mentioned on quite a few streams now, the S&P 500 has a big implication on the currency markets as well. When the S&P 500 is headed down, we see a general shift into risk off most of the time, right? Risk off sentiment is basically the idea that investors don't want to pile on a bunch of risk right now because markets look very unsure of themselves, very uncertain, right? It's kind of like betting on someone who's like, you probably don't want to root for someone who is just like unable to get back in the game or something like that. It's like if a player was injured, you're obviously not going to want to take big bets on them, right? Because they're not playing their best. Same thing in the markets. When the S&P 500 is dropping, investors are generally moving away from taking more risk. They're more interested in conserving their money, keeping their cash heavy, right? Things like that. The old saying is, dry powder, right? A lot of times investors will sell out of their stuff, right, when things are high, so that they have extra cash to buy something when it gets to be discounted. Now, as we look at this today, to me, it looks like the S&P 500 is just weak. We're not able to break higher. Now, it's not saying I don't think it can, but I think in order for it to really start to make a significant push the other direction, we really need to start seeing some higher highs, higher lows, that sort of thing. So again, topped out here, putting in those lower highs. And that has consistently been a burden or an anchor here on the S&P 500. Now, the reason I like to clarify for the newer traders out there who are like, Nick, look at currency pairs, look at gold, look at GBPJPY. We'll definitely go take a look at those things. Don't even worry about it. But the S&P 500 is a nice place to start because it gives us an idea of risk tolerance in the market. Right now, there is generally not a lot of it. In fact, people are looking to more likely sell into this downtrend, in my opinion, than anything else for the time being. We'll have to see if it breaks out. If it breaks out, that would be great for my stock market account. But I just think short term that the markets are concerned around this whole variant situation. And as we've mentioned many times on the streams before, regardless of your opinion of politically on things like variants and vaccines and all that stuff, the point is it's more about how it makes the market feel, it makes the market react than anything else. So my thoughts here, S&P 500, couple levels to think about just before we move on to some currency pairs, is this idea here. You're really kind of in between these two levels with a mild bias to the downside, at least in my view, right? So I'm thinking, for example, if we were to get below this level, that would be incredibly bearish because you would just have probably a bunch of new sellers and all the buyers here would get stopped out, right? If you think about it, if you had lots of buyers down here who are trying to catch the bottom of this move and they're saying, okay, I bought here, right? and they've got stops, you're probably going to see a lot of those get triggered. That's why we always kind of keep in mind where the stop losses are, because that's where you get those big swings like this here, right? So for example, we could actually look back and say, hey, here was a big level for a lot of buyers, right? A lot of buyers had to bail on their trade here, right? So they went long, things went well, but then it turned back around and they had to bail and stop out, causing lots of selling, right? Because if you're in a buy trade and you have to cover your trade, that means you have to sell your position. That causes more selling, which causes more selling, which is how we see big crashes and moves in the markets. So same thing here. If we can get a breakdown, right? If we come back down and we start to trigger those stop losses, we could see the next low on the S&P 500 here. Just my take on it. That's what I would say in terms of the S&P 500. And now we'll move on to currency pairs. So we'll take a quick look at the euro against the dollar here today. What's going on with the euro dollar today? So let's take a look at it. Euro dollar overall has been trending lower. Now, this one has been one I haven't been trading it too recently. In fact, I kind of missed the big move there, although I caught it on some other currency pairs. I do think that the euro dollar is a little bit tricky. It's not one that I'm like jumping into trading right now, because there are some other ones that I'm a little bit more interested in. The reason I'll tell you guys why I'm confused about Euro USD is because in a environment where we see risk on, risk off, right? This gets tricky because this thing flip-flops. Sometimes the US dollar is much more of a safe haven, and sometimes it's much more of a risk asset. It changes its bias. So when we're looking at this, we're looking at Euro USD. I'm not super interested in trading this right now because the euro kind of risk off. The dollar, it flip-flops. So it kind of is doing this all back and forth idea. So I'll tell you guys right now, my focus right now has shifted more towards the risk on. Actually, we'll just do this. The on versus off. I don't know what I'm doing. Hold on. Off, right? The on versus off currencies or currency pairs. I'm thinking things like AUD. I'm thinking things like GBP. And over here, I'm thinking things like JPY, USD, and CHF, things like that. So I'm looking at those kind of currency pairs. So for example, things like AUD JPY or GBP USD or GBP CHF, AUD JPY, things like that, right? Oh, sorry, I realized that you can't really see behind the banner here for a second. Sorry about that. But the main point is I'm looking at currency pairs that are focused on a risk on asset versus a risk off asset. So I'll give you an example. I'm in a trade right now. I don't think it's going very well right now, but we'll show it to you. Here's GJ. Oh, actually it turned around. Look at that. Nice. Just in time for the cameras to come on, just how you like it, right? So anyways, GJ here, I have a short trade. We'll talk about this short trade for just a moment. You guys will probably see it in a video. I started filming today, so we'll see how that goes. Does anybody like do you guys like the live trading videos? I don't know, because sometimes we have people who watch different parts of the content that we put out on the channel. Some people like the live stream, some people like the live trading videos. I mean, I guess this kind of doubles as both, but this is a position that I'm currently in. If you watch the live trading videos, then you'll know kind of my trading style. That's really the best way. If you are interested in seeing how I trade, it's nothing magical. It's nothing fancy that, is some behind a paywall, you're going to learn some secret weapon trading strategy. None of that. I just trade based on structure. I trade on fundamentals. That is pretty much my main goal. So when I'm looking at this, I have a sell trade. I'm currently short on GJ. I'm looking for a move back down to the lows. If it happens, it'll be awesome. And the major idea here is what we just talked about. So we're talking about an on versus an off currency pair. And this is why people love GJ, you guys. People love GJ, whether they know it or not, because it is such a risk on versus a risk off currency pair. What I mean by that, GBP, right? Very risk on. Very more of a speculative economy than Japan or JPY, which factors in as our off currency, our risk off currency. When we look at these two things in combination, that is why they move so aggressively. It's because they're two very different economies. So one is trending one way and it's trending the other way, and things get interesting, right? They get aggressive real fast. So when I'm looking at GJ, I'm looking at it with a short bias right now. Things have been trending lower. We can take a look here. Let's get a quick view of the moving averages. And you can actually see part of the reason I took the trade was moving averages look beautiful, right? And we just tagged that 100 SMA here on the 1 hour chart. Again, not a magical indication of, oh, price is going to drop, but just an added confluence. So look at that. I'm floating 50 bucks with you guys here. What do you say we just close that out? And what can we afford for 50 bucks? Let's see. We could go buy... Well, with inflation, maybe like a cup of coffee. I'm kidding. That's a really bad joke, but inflation really is kind of high. So you got the confetti on the screen. There you go. Thank you, Chandler. Yeah, no, 50 bucks. I don't even know what you could buy for 50 bucks these days. I don't really buy that. Maybe a tank of gas, honestly. So in the US, right, I used to pay about $40 for gas. Now when I go to get gas, I'm not even kidding. I think it's like 70 bucks because I drive a truck, and which is, kind of already not the best for gas, but I spend like $65, $70 on a tank of gas now. It's crazy, which is a lot of money. So, inflation is a real thing. That's the one complaint I have, but there's worse problems to have. I could be in a country where, the next gas station is 50 miles away. That would be way worse than paying that money. So anyways, the point is, I'm short biased on this currency pair. I like the idea of downside on the GJ pair because of risk off sentiment right now that I have in the markets due to the Omicron variant, due to the fact that I think markets are probably due just for a little bit more of a pullback here. We're starting to see a little bit of a dip and a favor towards those risk off assets, things like JPY actually doing quite well. We could take a look at JXY here overall right now. This is just a real quick flip. Don't even worry about changing the ticker channel. I'll be right back. But JXY, this is the Japanese yen. Japanese yen has been doing really well, right? We've seen a jump in the price of the Japanese yen. So when we look at something like GBPJPY, we're kind of seeing that play out. We're seeing GJ continue to be going down because that Japanese yen is strengthening. Right? Remember, so many times we forget when we're trading a currency pair, you're trading two currencies. You're not just trading a pair, you're trading two specific currencies. And when one is doing very well, it will impact the price of the currency, right? Look at that. 50 bucks. You can get a hamburger meal for two. Denise always has the jokes. Yes. Yeah. You drive a truck. Did not see that. Took you for a Tesla guy. Okay. So everyone says that. I'm not even kidding. Like, that sounds so petty to say. Oh yeah, everybody says they see me in a Tesla. But literally, my friends, I asked them, should I get a Jeep or should I, eventually get a Tesla? And they all said Tesla. And I was like, man, I thought I was a Jeep guy, but maybe I'm not a Jeep guy. For my BMW 520D in UK, a full tank is 110 pounds. Oh my gosh, 150 bucks. Man, you must be rolling in it, my friend. That's expensive. 50 bucks is a 1,000 here, and that's 1 month's food. Talking about your inflation, try ours. Well, thank you for the context. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, that's intense. Hi, Vipul. Good to see you. Love from India. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Yeah, so did you get stopped out of Euro Yen? Yes, I did. I got stopped out this morning on Euro Yen. Actually, let's go talk about that. Can't take the wins without keeping it in context. I ended up taking a short here. Beautiful short, in my opinion. Like, I was happy with this trade. You know what? We'll do a quick coverage of Euro Yen. So Euro Yen, you can see the trade details still set up. So basically, my level was right here. So we had a sell set up. Actually, if you look at it just from this context, I mean, let's be honest, right? This is just one of those setups that looked really good, right? Because there it is. So basically price came up and I said, let's take the short. Let's go short here. Well, I didn't say let's. I said, I'm going short. I'm not here to tell you what to do. Remember, please be careful, due diligence, all that stuff. Don't copy trades. Don't do Forex signals, all that stuff. You already know if you're on the live streams, you've heard it before. If you're new, then please stick around. But okay, anyways, Euro Yen, I took a short trade, right? Transparency is important to me, so I'll just show you. I basically shorted the trades or shorted the entry. I shorted the pair here. My entry was right around this area. It looked good, right? Things were going well. My stop loss, which we'll go back and see the order in a second. My stop loss was just above structure there. And so it started going to my favor. I was feeling pretty good about it. I was actually asleep during this time, but I woke up and I was surprised to see that price had come back all the way and popped me out here for a loss. So it happens to the best of us. It's quite annoying. It's quite frustrating sometimes, but Euro Yen did in fact stop me out for a loss this morning. And then, I was feeling a little sad about it, but I realized, okay, well, there's my confirmation. I'm happy that I got out of the trade because it does look like it's kind of strong where we currently sit. So here's the update right now. Euro Yen moving around, doing its thing. I ended up shorting here and covering on this bar. So yeah, it's not the best, but it happens. So, it was $100 loss, nothing I can't, recover from or anything like that. So Euro Yen now still trending lower and off. Honestly, maybe an opportunity to re-enter. So I actually took GJ because I liked it better than Euro Yen. That's why I took GJ short this morning. But Euro Yen, I do like to the short side. I would like to see it kind of make a break to the downside before trying to re-enter. I would like to see it kind of just kind of break this counter trend that we're seeing before I take any more further entries. So for example, if we were to see a break, maybe I could try that level again, right? That would be a reasonable, I would take that trade. That would meet my criteria for an entry. We've got that trend to the downside, which is really important for every trade that I take. I like to be with the trend, at least on this style of trading. And that's probably helping that yen seems to be strong this morning. So if that yen strength continues, the GJ trade should go well. We'll have to just see. So yeah. Are your levels based? Phonics, I'm not exactly sure what you mean by based. I'm not sure. Love your videos. Thank you very much, Cliff. Appreciate you, man. Great stream. Thank you so much. 61.8 was your number. Well, I don't really use a specific fib level. I'm not specific to one. I just look for confluence across several technical indications, but also on the fundamentals. So I'm not picky on the fib levels particularly. I'm more looking for confluence at a level, right? Support lining up with it or resistance lining up with it. So that's the Aussie, the pound yen. I do want to take a look at Aussie yen. I thought about taking Aussie yen short today. And honestly, this may be another trade for me to look at. If price pops up a little higher, maybe up to 80, that would actually be interesting. 80 on the dot looks really, really clean for possible sell setups in favor of this downtrend. Again, the yen pairs trending really nicely right now. And I haven't been long on yen in I cannot tell you how long. It's been probably a year since I've taken one trade that was in favor of the yen. And it's just because things have been so risk on for me for the last several year, right? But now I do see some sort of opportunities to possibly look for long trades as things do look like they're headed for a little bit of downside, a little bit of further move. So I do like that. Maybe a retracement up to this level could be interesting for sell side action. Again, I have that GBPJPY trade, but if there is more opportunities, I may look to take them. So Aussie Yen short is a great trade. Yeah, I'd get in at 80. Well, sounds like we're on the same page. I do like that. I'm short on GBP/USD. How do you see it? Let's go take a look at GU. Let's see what's going on with the pound dollar. So pound dollar, let's get all this mess off the screen for a second. Pound dollar. So the dollar, actually real quick, let me just jump over DXY. DXY is not moving a whole lot. So we're looking at pound dollar here today. The moving averages off for a second. Just keep the chart clean. And we'll draw this fib. So fib level, swing, tag. Ooh, look at this. 61.8. Beautiful little touch there and dropped. That's so cool. That 61.8 level can be so seemingly magical sometimes, but don't be deceived. Nothing is magical in trading. But anyways, looking at GU, I'd still say I'm short bias on this thing. I think that this thing, the pound right now is just a little bit cautionary for me because of the whole risk off nature sentiment in markets right now. Until that goes away, I probably won't be jumping into a whole bunch of pound trades just because I think pound is most likely to continue lower if the whole situation around the Omicron variant continues, right? That would probably continue to drop. Just for reference, you guys, if we go take a look at the weekly chart for a second, this is what happened when March of 2020 happened. The pound just got absolutely annihilated, right? That 2-week period, you guys, 2 weeks down at one point 1,600 pips. That's insane, right? So it can happen. It can get real ugly real fast. So I am looking at the pound dollar. Now it seems to be trending down, which is possibly even scarier, right? That move here from the tops of 2021, at one point that was about 1,000 pips. So we'll keep tabs on it, but looking at here on the 1 hour chart, I do think the natural place for price is to the downside overall, just continuing to flow there, right? With the moving average, you kind of see just a nice little trend style to the downside. But again, it's not something I have any trades on right now. I have my pound yen trade to the short side, so I'm not really interested in picking up a whole lot more trades there on the pound. But again, 61.8, that held really nice. If anybody caught that sell, then you're looking pretty right now. If I was in that trade, we can just daydream together for a second. If I was selling this right here, right, and price was going in my favor, my goal would be to take risk off the table, right, to move my stop loss. If I had a stop loss here, right, I'd move it to break even, and I'd be looking to see if we can get lower, if we can start breaking through levels like here. That seems to be a pretty key spot. If we could break that, I would move into profit, right? If price could keep going further, I would move my stop loss further into profit. And you can see there's how the daydreaming starts. There's how the shoulda, coulda, woulda mindset starts. But just looking at it from a perspective of how I would approach a trade if I was in it. But like I said, I already have that pound yen trade to the short side, so I'm not really interested in picking up anything else on the pound right now, at least. So let's keep going. My first live trading with you, Nick. Learned a lot. Really appreciate. Forever in profits. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate you as always. Thanks for being here. Cad Yen, sure, we could take a look at Cad Yen. Why not? CADJPY. We'll take a look at the old Canadian dollar. Now, the Cad Yen is a pair that I think for now I'm mild to possibly short biased on this. And part of the reason here is because of, before we even look at CAD pairs, I like to just take a quick look at US oil. US oil under pressure, right? So you have oil on the way down. And when you have oil markets selling off, that is going to impact our CAD yen idea, right? So if oil markets are selling off, you can see they look so similar, right? Just look at what we just looked at. So memorize this chart and then look at this chart. They look so similar, right? It's because that Canadian economy is so heavily impacted by the oil markets and the prices of oil, because you got to think about it for a second. If you had, let's say you had a rare Pokemon card in your pocket right now, and then the Pokemon card, you're saying, well, what's it worth? And then you go to eBay and prices are trading or selling at that same thing for like $1,000. You have $1,000 rare Pokemon card. But then you look at it, 6 months down the line, and you still have the card and it's selling for $3,000. Suddenly you're worth more because of the potential that you could sell that thing for right now, right? That fluctuates. That's just like how a trade works. Well, same thing with the oil market. The oil market is kind of like that Pokemon card for Canada, because Canada is saying, well, if the oil market goes up, their economy is built around that. That's good for them. But if the oil market comes down, it can cause their currency and their valuation to go down as well, right? So the Canadian dollar against the yen right now, as this oil market continues to drop, I think is kind of a sell biased, pair for me, at least for now. We'll keep tabs on it, of course, keep things in perspective, looking at the higher time frames. Let's look at the daily chart just for reference. To be fair, the Canadian dollar has been doing quite well in recovery, right, because of the pandemic drop, and then we started to just rise as oil came back into demand. But CAD yen, I mean, I'm not going to go running to go short it right now, because it has been kind of sold off pretty significantly. And, we're sitting at a big level of support. So, keeping things in context, I'm not super interested in shorting right now. But if there comes a time, if there's a setup there, I may look for a lower time frame opportunity to just kind of take advantage of some of the sell pressure that's on this pair. That would be my first take on it. Now, if you're looking at this thing just on the 1 hour chart, right, Price is just shy of the 61.8 level. In fact, that's not the worst idea there ever in my view. You have a little bit of sell pressure, but again, probably not a trade that I would take myself. I'd need a little bit more confluence. And considering I already have a JPY trade open, I'm a little bit more hesitant to pick up more, if that makes sense, right? Just subscribe. Lots of great info here. Thank you. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate that. That's very kind of you, Ron. If you're new to the channel, you guys do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Would love to have you come back to more streams. We do these throughout the week. This is a free service, right? We're doing this Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. There are people involved besides just myself to make this all possible. And we would really appreciate it if you hit that like button, help to continue to grow the channel and to share real trading, realistic stuff with the community here. So come join us. If you, like I said, there's a lot of you guys who watch the streams or watch the videos and you haven't yet subscribed. It's free to do and it really helps us out. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate you, Ron, for the sub. Welcome to the community. Yeah, let's do gold, you guys. We'll take a look at XAUUSD here and we'll jump into what's going on with the gold market today. So gold pulling back here a little bit. And I mentioned recently that I liked the fact that we kind of put in this higher high, right? Lower highs, right? Down, down, down. And then we busted out of that, which was actually kind of a nice show of strength. In fact, so much so that I think maybe gold could be an interesting level at the 50% retracement. In fact, that's something I'll keep tabs on. What we'll do here is I'm actually just going to, while you guys are here with me, can I set add alert? I want to do it at 1775. So just set an alert and show pop-up. I'm not going to send an email. We'll just do this because I'll be around. Yeah, so if price hits that 50% level, I will go look at it, see what's going on with gold and what my other positions are doing at the same time for a possible reentry. And it's a little bit aggressive considering this thing is trending down pretty hard, but there may be opportunities for a short-term little buy trade as we have seen a little bit of change in sentiment. We've seen a little bit of strength come in on the gold market. Let's go look at something together, you guys. I'm going to head over to the website. This is a1trading.com. This is our website. You guys can use it anytime you would like. There's a bunch of free tools here for you to use, but I want to just go look at COT data for gold really quick. And COT data, click commodities, gold, and check this out. Let's see what's going on with gold. So gold, I'd like to see what the non-commercials are doing. Now, what I am looking at right now, if you're like, what the heck is all this? The non-commercials are institutional traders, banks, hedge funds, professional firms that trade the markets. And what they're doing can sometimes be an indicator that can be useful. So non-commercials, that's your institutional money. So looking at the positioning of the gold market, you can see the number of positions on the futures markets that are trading. So the commitment of traders basically tracks the futures market, and you can kind of see a decrease in the demand for gold over the last few weeks. Now that kind of makes sense because the gold market has been coming down, but this is a once a week filing that comes in. And so the most recent interest has been to the short side. So we've seen a net decrease in positioning here on gold. So just to keep things in tab, I like to just see the trend, right? When this was going on, there was lots of bullishness on gold. Now we've seemingly stopped all the bullishness, or at least paused for now. So really an added confluence for me would be to start to see this thing actually start to move higher, right? Like, for example, when this thing was very bearish, when you had the non-commercials moving lower, it was tough to buy. But once things started to trend, there was plenty of opportunity. You see the big money start to go and go and go, and they take some time to get into their positions. So sometimes there's a little bit of that goes on. This is something that I regularly mention within my own trading. So if you are not already in the Discord and you would like to join the Discord, let me just give that a quick shout out. So if you're newer to my channel and you are interested in learning more about what we do, this is the A1 Trading Discord. So inside of our Discord, you get all sorts of cool things. Our Discord is something that we work very hard on. And like I mentioned, there are several people that are involved in everything that we do here, but the Discord especially, we've got moderators and several contributors from around the world in the form of professional traders who have joined our staff basically. So essentially what we've got here is you can see all the trades that I take. So for example, that pound yen trade that I talked about earlier, I share it inside of the Discord. So I write it up. I go, this usually takes me 15, 30 minutes to do the research, place the trades, everything. And then I put it inside of the Discord. I do this every day. Every trade that I take, I drop the entry, the stop loss, and I update everyone on what I'm doing with my position throughout the week. So if that sounds helpful to you, it's not meant to be like oh, you just copy me and you'll make money. That's not what it's about. It's about real traders who are looking to learn from people who have been doing it for a while, learn from that experience, and to pick up, why am I doing what I'm doing? What's the reasoning behind the fundamentals, the technicals, etc. And then we can go look at other trades being taken by, for example, my friend Patrick here. He is in Germany and he does a great job sharing every trade that he takes with all that information. Some valuable coulda, shoulda, woulda on this one kind of stuff. And again, just real traders doing real things. And then you've got Ryan. Some of you guys know Ryan. Ryan is a 200K FTMO funded trader, and he's one of our lead analysts here at A1 Trading. We also have coaching calls throughout the week with Ivan. Ivan is also a regular on the channel, so check his stuff out if you haven't already within the Discord. He does 2 streams a week, basically just doing coaching and answering questions. So great stuff available inside of the Discord. You get access to the community tab, all sorts of things. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to invite you guys, because there is some free stuff. I'm going to invite you guys. Let's do this. Add invite, never, no limit. I'm going to just invite you to the Discord. So this is not going to, you won't have VIP privileges until you actually get an account or a membership with us. But if you join the free account right now, what that will, or if you get with a free account right now, there is plenty of free stuff. And our friend Emily is here in the chat. So Emily is she's one of our moderators. But as she said, send me any questions that you have about the Discord community. You can contact her if you have any questions. A1trading.com/contact. She is your friendly neighborhood customer support rep. So send her a message anytime you'd like, and she's going to be happy to help. So there it is. Jump in the Discord if you haven't already. There's free stuff every single day. We share free analysis and a couple free PDFs. But if you sign up for a membership, you get access to all the cool stuff that we have available and work very hard to provide. So with that said, guys, that's going to wrap up the stream. Have a great rest of your day. Please trade safe, trade responsibly. And like I said earlier, or Emily shared, send her a message if you have any questions or you need any help. Again, thank you guys very much for being here, and we will see you back in the next one. What's up, you guys? Thank you so much for making it to the end of today's stream. It really does go way more than you know towards supporting this content and our team here behind the scenes that makes all of this content possible. Before you go, I want to invite you to join our free Telegram and our free Discord, which will both be linked down below in the description. We share trading ideas, we share tips and tricks, broker recommendations, things that may be helpful to you in your trading career. And again, it's completely free. So down below in the description, click those links, join us there, and we'll see you in the next stream.